Exactly 1 year ago, I got a direct message on Instagram that began what has become an incredible journey in my life. It was from a guy named Simon Haid, and it read as follows. Hi Grady, I'm co-founder of Space Ape, a mobile game development studio, makers of BeatStar, which is the #1 music game globally. So far, the game has been pop focused, but we're adding a country music category to it shortly, and thinking about making an entirely separate game specifically focused on country. I'm wondering if you would be open to consulting gigs. Most of us are based in the UK and need a crash course in the culture and music and all things you talk about on your podcast. At a minimum, I'd love to have you in to give a lecture to the team and answer questions they have about potential directions for the game. Now, y'all know me. When I got that, I freaked out. I'm like, why do people want to work with me? I'm just like this little guy on YouTube, blah, 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 blah. But once I got over my own irrational fears, I was like, you know what? Let's try and say yes to something for once. So I responded to Simon and said, hey, I'd be open to it. And I am so glad I said that yes. Now, if you didn't know, BeatStar is a game where notes are falling down the screen and you are tapping in rhythm while listening to hit music of today, as well as some iconic hits of the past. This is an extremely popular game. I'm sure a ton of you play it, but their ambition was either to add country music into that game or perhaps to spin it out into its own game, since country music fans tend to be extremely passionate, but typically just about that genre. And that's where I came in as a sort of guru spirit guide through the genre. And this was initially literally just supposed to be a couple calls. Over the course of fall 2022, I had a number of Zoom calls with a team based out of London about the current landscape of country music. I mean, I went over everything from this is Morgan Wallen and this is Lainey Wilson to much more nuanced questions that are not so easy to answer. Things like, what are the actual differences between folk and bluegrass and Americana and alt country? In fact, there were a lot of genre questions because the way that the team actually found me was an old YouTube video on this channel called Country Subgenres 101. And some of those topics are confusing even if you know a lot about music. So to talk to people that aren't even country fans about why Texas country is simultaneously considered more country than Nashville, but is also sometimes just like a rebooted version of the Warped Tour and rock music, is complicated. But we had a few calls, we had a bunch of Zooms in the fall, and then they brought a team to kind of scope out what are honky tonks like, what do American people listen to. I used to have a ton of footage from this that was on my phone that got taken from me when I got robbed. So I wish I had more evidence of me playing junior tour guide when I was pretty new to Nashville myself. But it was fun. It was me and my British friends going to do karaoke at Santa's Pub. And if you're wondering, yes, my song of choice was Since You've Been Gone by Kelly Clarkson. At one point, we went to Topgolf.
28 points.
And here's a hack. If you have any British friends, introduce them to buffalo chicken dip because that was really a hit. But most of our time was spent brainstorming in this Airbnb with a truly unfathomable amount of post-it notes about what a country music mobile game could look like. Any visual cue or song or dance that might be included in the atmosphere of a potential game.
Plastic cups. Cool. It's like a party. I think of Applebee's for some reason, but I think it's just a song.
This post-it note thing is a thing they do. Now I am used to, a year into working with Space Ape, how many post-it notes are involved. Now, beyond them just coming here, I also went to London about 7 months ago to their office and worked with them for a while. Because at this point, they were definitely going to develop and at least test launch a game. And there too, despite the fact that literally everyone in that office is smarter than me and can code and beat map songs and figure out how to do all the legal jujitsu of licensing music, they were gracious enough to give me a platform to kind of guide the staff as sort of a country music guru that could explain the different scenes within country. I even led a presentation for the full staff there of Country Music's Nirvana Moment, which is literally the last video on this channel. That was born out of a presentation I gave to them. I mean, I really threw them into the deep end for not really being country fans. And we talked about everything from marketing strategies to which songs should be in the game. We also did full-on explorations of trends on country TikTok and what types of wood textures and neon lights you might see at a bar where you're watching a country concert. Now, while I was in London, there was definitely some time for some extracurricular activities, a lot of pub crawling. We went to Abbey Road at one point, which was cool to see where the Beatles recorded. And of course, me and Nikhil and Charmy had to take, the iconic photo. That's also where I shot a short that's on this channel. Who's your favorite country artist right now?
Morgan Wallen.
There's two, Hayley Whitters
and Zach Bryan.
But a huge part of the trip was just looking at the massive spreadsheet of every single artist, figuring out which artists we had cleared for the game, which ones we hadn't, and then deciding would those songs necessarily be good levels, because not every good song in real life is necessarily fun gameplay. And so it's like a whole never-ending Sudoku puzzle of figuring out what should actually be the music that's in the game. But the ambition from the jump was, if we make a game about country music, how do we accurately represent the genre? How do we get not just artists that are popular and on the radio, but also artists that are buzzy and haven't yet happened? You want a mix of the hits with the cool stuff, with the oldies, with the brand new cutting edge. You want to touch on country rock and you want to touch on the folksier side of things. Part of what I have loved about working with this company in the past year is that they are genuinely curious about getting country culture right. And I just really appreciate that about them. And yeah, somewhere along the line, they settled on the name Country Star. And that is a real game that really has been testing now for a few months and really is globally launching on September 21st, and that you'll be able to play. And it's totally free, and you can totally pre-register for it now and hopefully download it and play it when it launches, because I'm so damn proud of this game. I'm so excited to be involved in this project at all, because I think it is A, extremely fun, and B, really has cool music in it. Let's warm up these hardwood floors, and tonight I'll see. Like, of course, we got some big radio hits in there. Yes, you have Last Night. Yes, you have Beer Never Broke My Heart. But you also got like Mike and the Moon Pies and Jesse Daniel. We got My Jam, A Whole Lot of Little by Emily Ann Roberts. We ain't got a whole lot, but we got a lot of little suits me just fine. That's like an extreme difficulty level that is so hard because of the fiddle solo. We even got the song Mockingbird by Low Gap. Mockingbird, Mockingbird. And y'all know I was obsessed with that song Mockingbird last year. It was my number 2 song of the whole year. That's in the game. Right alongside tracks by Tracy Byrd and Dolly Parton and Turnpike and Haley Witters and Meg Maroney. Like, it's just cool. It's like a genuine slice of country music, and it's not too radio, it's not too Texas. I genuinely think if you are a fan of country music, there's music for you in this game. And I literally cried when I was in London because I'm like, this has truly been my dream for people to see both of these sides of the mainstream and the independent world. Ugh, I love it. I make everyone play this damn game. Like when I interviewed Luke Combs, I definitely was like, hey, you have to play your own level, and excitedly made him play on my phone. And then this is when some of the team was here when we were watching Jesse Daniel and Hannah Dasher's concert and actually playing his song while he was playing the song that we were playing on stage. It was so meta. And now the team has come here a bunch of times. Like, I'm so used to the Londoners being here in Nashville. I can just set them on their own way, being like, hey, you guys good to get back to the Virgin? I'll see you at Red Door later. And, you know, they're all grown up. We've gone to the Opry together. We've been to Whiskey Jam a million times together. There's even some artists that we met at Whiskey Jam that are now in the game. My title now is I'm music advisor of this game. And yeah, at this point, I'm basically just kind of their boots on the ground here in Nashville, able to, you know, pitch something to an artist or tell them like, yo, you should be involved in this because it's really fun and really cool. And I believe it. Like, it's the easiest sales job in the world because I freaking believe it. So I'm excited for you guys to get to play it. Like I said, it is literally available for pre-registration now. It's going to be out everywhere on September 21st. But I don't want to make it seem like I'm the person that has freaking created this. Literally, there's a huge team of developers and beat mappers and visual artists. I mean, there's so many people that do so much stuff to have made this game even happen. And it's pretty unbelievable to look at how much work goes into the creation of a video game. And I'm so pumped for you guys to see it. So yeah, there's my announcement. Like, I'm always worried on this channel that people perceive me a bit as an underachiever because I kind of am. I'm very artistic. If I'm not feeling it, I'm not making videos. But for a year, I've wanted to tell you like, hey, I'm actually working on this project. And I know it seems like there's not as much stuff out, but I promise I am working. I just can't tell you about it yet. But now I can tell you, and I'm excited and so pumped for you guys to see how there's going to be new music in the future. I don't want to get too advertorial on you, but I'm just excited. So Country Star, it's coming out soon. It's going to be so fun. Y'all are the best. And I'll see you with more content very soon. Goodbye.